folks. Welcome. It is 2nd of January 2020. Maybe this is the first video of 2020. People ask me, why do you spritz with water your apron? The answer is because your apron is your worst enemy as far as dust is concerned. So if you spritz it with water, you cut the dust down because your nose is just here, 6 inches above your apron. Alright, just a tip. So, yes. Yeah, what I want to do is just bring the camera down here. A touch to the wheel. One of the things we do as potters is we throw a form and then we alter it, don't we? I like doing it actually. Here's a little example of just that. So it's thrown. It's cylindrical, but then it's squished, you see, to make that. So that's something we can do with clay. Sometimes we have to wait a little bit until it kind of just stiffens off a bit before we can do that, but we can do it nonetheless. So anyway, I've got something I want to show you. Let's quickly get down on the wheel here. So what I want to do is, this is going to be an altered GP bolt. So GP bowls I generally throw £1 and 6.5 inches wide. Height I never really bothered to measure because it's sort of like, it's a visual thing, you know. Once I've got the width, then the form kind of automatically takes shape. Ah, yes. Gosh, mild weather we're having at the moment. It's like over 40 degrees. But we're not complaining. Right. So, straightforward, simple, throw a GP bowl. I just had this idea and I already made one, which I haven't shown you yet, but I'll show it to you in a little bit. So, when you're throwing a GP bowl, don't go too wide. Get your height, or get a decent amount of height before you go wide. The other reason is, of course, that we roll the rims on these, and you don't want to roll a rim if you're out here somewhere. It's just not practical. It's much better to roll your rim while the diameter is a little bit somewhat less, and then widen it afterwards. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to roll that, which is really a rolled rim is just a folded over rim. We call it a rolled rim, but it's not really rolled, it's folded. It's folded like a piece of paper, you know, you bend it over. But you make it round so it looks like it's people think it's hollow. It's not hollow, it's solid. And now I'm going a bit wider and pulling up a bit to the rolled rim from underneath there. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure that, and I would say that is 6 inches at the minute. We want to have it 6.5. Let's have a look. Well, it's 6 1/4 actually. Right. Just gonna widen that a smidgen more. Let's have a look at that now. Yep, that'll do. Alright, let's finish it. So the trick with GP bowls is, because they're fairly narrow footed, you see, and they're wet trimmed, we don't trim these afterwards, they've got to be finished now. So we're going to take our throwing stick and we're going to get right in underneath, down into there, under there. But we put the fingers on the other side, on the inside. So when you push in the stick, you're pushing against your fingers, you see. They're somewhat narrow in the foot, and that creates that sort of that V form, you know, like look what a GP bowl is like, which means they're great, of course, for stacking, you know, one inside the other. Alright, so there we go. Let's just sponge him out, leather him. Alright, I'm just going to bring the camera down here for you to see that. GP bowls, yeah. There. View from above. And then coming down here. So you see how narrow it is in the foot. There's a little bit of extra meat down there, which gives it a bit of weight down the bottom. Right, so what I want to do now though is what you've all been waiting for. Have a sip of tea. Cheers. What I'm going to do, let's zoom this a touch in. Not too much, but like that. So yeah, I'm going to deform this. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm just going to take my fingers and just go like that, and turn it around, and go like that. So basically, I've got a longer side here and a longer side there, and two shorter sides here, the way I've done that. Alright, what we're going to do next, we're going to torch it up. Okay, there it is. Steam and all. What I'm going to do actually, I think, I'm going to move this camera now to this side. Whoa. Let me just... Alright. Oh, I'm not used to having it on that side. Right, so what I want to do now, so the idea here, so why am I doing this? The object of the exercise I thought would be to create a soup bowl, alright, that had the handles at here and here, you see, and the longer side here and here. So right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the handles here. So I've created a tool which I'll show you. It's a simple tool. I mean, this is it's two pieces of dowel that are screwed together, you see, like that. So I'm going to use this tool now to, this is my theory anyway. So what I'm going to do, see, by torching it a bit I can speed it up, and so I'm going to wet my tool here. I'm going to spray there and there. I'm going to put my tool there, right under the lip. Hope you can see that. Right under the lip like that, you see. But right underneath. Like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lip and I'm going to fold it over. See what I mean? My piece of dowel like that. The idea being, I think I may have torched it a bit much actually. You can see it's having a slight tendency to crack. Just that's not what I wanted. That's not what I had in mind. Alright. Important, wet the piece of dowel, okay? So I'm putting it just below there. I'm taking this, my finger, and I'm bending it, the lip of the pot, over the dowel. And sometimes you have to do these things in stages. So the idea is, you see, I've bent it over, so I've now got a place just to lift it. I haven't got to add handles. Oh, what a relief! I don't have to add handles. I've done them. You see, I've made them. The handles are now created just from the edge of the pot, which is bent over. And being a rolled rim, it's got a little bit extra meat there, you see, which enables me to do that. So, of course, clay has memory, so if you bend something like that over, you better come back a little bit later and just reinforce it again one more time, because the clay will tend to, because of the memory effect, it will tend to pull back, want to pull back anyway, to where it was before. Okay, let's bring the camera down so you can see that. And I've done one actually that I did earlier. Okay, let me just zoom out here a bit. So you can see sideways profile, spin him around. Okay. So that overhanging lip there, you see, is where I can come back wheel. That overhanging lip there is where I can get some purchase with my fingers, you see. Whereas I wouldn't be able to really, just on the side here of a rolled rim, I wouldn't be able to, yeah. So You see this little bit of light here on the lens. You'll see that in all my videos. That's because I got a scratch on the lens. So when I'm in certain positions of light, I get that kind of mark. Alright, so next, quickly now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to torch him a little bit. Right, let's cut him off. Right, we're gonna lift him, put him over here. I did one before lunch. Yeah, it's just lunchtime now, just after lunch. And so what we're going to do is, I had the thought. So yeah, this one I did a little earlier. I think actually we're going to move the camera back to this side now. Excuse me, folks. I just think the light is a little better this way actually. So, whoops, sorry. So what we're going to do is, with one of my rolling roller stamps, I'm going to just apply a decoration to the two ends there. Maybe I'll use my stick just to hold underneath, just to support. I'm going to take my roller stamp and sure would have been better if I'd done that, follow the line of the pot. Slightly. Yeah, I did that one a bit straight. Okay, let's just I'll just bring that down and show you a bit. So this one here, you see, I followed a little bit. I made it a little bit. It's got a slight curve in it. But that one there, I did straight. And I should have actually followed the line slightly. It would have been better. But so that is how to make. Now you could cook, whether you want to use it as a cereal bowl or a soup bowl. Maybe you want to make it a little bigger. Maybe you want to make it a little smaller. Mirror view. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that inspires you. Yes, if I was going to roll that pattern again, I would roll it a little bit more with a slight arc to it, so that wasn't so straight. But I'm not going to mess with it. Not once you've done it. You don't want to go back over it. So I think that's quite a nice little I think it looks quite nice. It's quick to make. What we're going to need to do here is, of course, well, there you can see the view from below. You can see where I've taken this tool and how it's bent over there. So all we need to do is get the seal. How about USA? That sounds like a great idea. USA and my seal. There it is. Could be better. I'll just show that to you. Alright. So now you can make these, I suppose. Whereas this is still, it's still reasonably round, isn't it? All I've done, it's basically still round. I've just done these, put those things in. Whereas the other one I did, ooh, that's a bit soft actually. The other one I did is a little bit more, I notice, slightly more, it's slightly more elongated, isn't it? Don't know if it needs to be. Yeah. Anyway, that's the idea is to make a bowl quickly that has handles formed in it. All done in one fell swoop. Yes, this is a classic case of how, you know, we can make tools on the spot for specific jobs. You see, that makes us human, doesn't it? That's why we're different than the rest of the animal kingdom, is that we are tool makers. We make tools. So have a go at one of these. I'll leave that little tool there just for you. So the length of the tool here, if somebody asks me, is going to, for sure someone's going to ask me, what's the size of it, Simon? Well, let's measure it. Let's be done with it. Let's measure it. It's 3 3/8 in this case, but it wouldn't matter if it was 3.5. You know what I mean? It could have been a little longer. It wouldn't have hurt. So it's not critical. Just wants to make sure that it's long enough so that when you bend over that edge, and I've just put a handle on it just so because it's easier to hold it there. You see, as your other hand is then working the clay over that edge to form that lip. Okay, there it is, folks. I hope you enjoyed that, and I am taking orders on more for another batch of these Leach treadle wheels. So if a Leach treadle wheel interests you, give me a shout, write to me, simonleachpottery@gmail.com. If you want to come on a workshop, check the dates in the calendar on the website, the website workshop calendar, and write to me if you're interested in the workshop. I believe March is just about full. April is fast filling. So yeah, I'm actually going to do less workshops this year, because last year I kind of felt at the end I was doing too many. I was trying to do too many, and I think it's better to try to do sort of like 1 a month rather than 2 a month. Although there are some months that do have 2. But so yeah, just a few less workshops here at home anyway. I may go out places and do workshops if I get invited. So if you want me to come to your neck of the woods, your studio, and teach a workshop, then write to me for that as well. What else can I say? Nothing other than keep practicing have a go at one of these. 1 pound of clay, 6.5 inches wide. Just pull it out of shape, make yourself a tool, bend it over the edge there, and you've got yourself 2 handles. I like that. I like cutting corners, doing things quickly, you know, not all this fuss and all the different stages like bisque firing. Get that out of the way for a start. That was the best thing I ever did, stop bisque firing and do once firing raw glazing. That's the way to go. See you around town, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.